Marina Oswald told the Warren Commission that her husband had posed and she had taken the picture. She also said he had owned a rifle.
Did you ever see the rifle?
Yes, but I fear to take this rifle. I just saw, in the corner, and I never done touch this rifle.
It seems reasonable to accept the conclusion of the Warren Commission report that Oswald did indeed own a Mannlicher Carcano 6.5 millimeter rifle, number C2766. The answer is yes. Our next question is, did Oswald take his rifle to the book depository building? At the time of the assassination, Lee and Marina Oswald were together only on weekends. He lived in a rooming house not far from his job, and she lived with a friend, Mrs. Ruth Payne, in the suburb of Irving. Mrs. Oswald said that her husband kept his rifle wrapped in a blanket in Mrs. Payne's garage. Oswald usually went to Irving on Friday nights with a fellow worker, Buell Wesley Frazier. But the day before the assassination, his routine changed.
Well, he come to me the Thursday, November the 21st, and asked me could he ride home with me that afternoon. And I said, well, yes. And I said, well, why are you going home this afternoon? And he replied that he wanted to go home and pick up some curtain rods where he could put some curtains up in his apartment.
Oswald got a lift to the school book depository that Friday morning from co-worker Frazier. Frazier's sister, Mrs. Glennie Mae Randall, lived across the street from the Payne house.
I was preparing lunches for my brother there at my sink, and I looked out the window and saw Mr. Oswald cross the street and come up across my driveway, and he had a brown paper bag in his right hand. It was about 27 inches long. It was made out of a heavy brown paper with heavy-looking tape on it.
Incidentally, the search of the book depository building made after the assassination failed to turn up any curtain rods, and the furnished room, which Oswald was then occupying, was equipped with curtain rods. So Oswald made an uncharacteristic trip to the Payne home Thursday night, returning to the book depository the morning of the assassination with a heavy-looking package that could pass for curtain rods. Was it the rifle? A difference of about 8 inches has made this one of the most contentious points for the critics. Within this package, I have a disassembled Mannlicher Carcano rifle identical to Oswald's. Now, before I tell you the dimensions, you might want to try to estimate them, as Mrs. Randall and Wesley Frazier did, from memory. Mrs. Randall variously estimated Oswald's package of curtain rods as 27 or 20 long. Her brother, Wesley Frazier, said about 2 feet, give or take a few inches. As a matter of fact, the disassembled Mannlicher is 34 8/10 inches long. Furthermore, Frazier said Oswald, preceding him into the depository building, carried the curtain rods under his armpit with his hand around the bottom. Now, obviously, you can't carry this package that way. Oswald had gotten out of the car first and was then walking away from Frazier. The commission decided that Frazier easily could have been mistaken about Oswald carrying the package. Now, you can decide whether Frazier, walking some 50 feet behind and in his own words not paying much attention, might have missed the few inches of the narrow end of such a package sticking up past Oswald's shoulder.
Despite the dispute about just how he carried the package, the reasonable answer to this question is that he did take a rifle to the book depository building.
This CBS News inquiry, the Warren Report, will continue in a moment.
Denture wearers are asking, is there a difference in denture cleansers? Listen to what Mrs. Virginia Evans, a denture wearer, has to say.
Well, now my denture is really clean, really odor-free, thanks to Polident tablets.
Polident, a revolutionary tablet that really fights denture stain and odor with an exclusive combination of active cleansing ingredients and effervescent oxygen action. See this bar of denture material? It's covered with tough food stain and odor. Drop it into warm water with a Polident effervescent tablet, and instantly the power-packed oxygen whiteners start to clean. Scrub stain and odor away safely. In minutes, your dentures are cleaner, fresher tasting. Is there really a difference in denture cleansers? Remember what Mrs. Evans says.
There's just nothing like Polident tablets. It's simply the best way I know to clean dentures.
The picture you're about to see could be you. Do you feel so tired you can hardly drag yourself through the day? Well, your trouble could be iron-poor tired blood. And if you take vitamins and still feel tired, vitamins alone can't build up iron-poor blood. But Geritol can. 2 Geritol tablets or 2 tablespoons of liquid Geritol contains 7 vitamins plus twice the iron and a pound of calf's liver. In one day, Geritol iron is in your bloodstream carrying strength and energy throughout your body. Check with your doctor, and if you feel tired due to iron-poor blood, take Geritol. Feel stronger fast in 7 days. And now a word about another fine product.
Did simple nervous tension keep you awake last night?
Then take 2 Sominex tablets as directed for 100% safe, natural-like sleep.
Take Sominex tonight and sleep, safe and restful sleep, sleep.
Take Sominex tonight and
Sleep.
A CBS News inquiry, the Warren Report, continues. Here again is Walter Cronkite.
Our next question concerns Oswald's whereabouts at the time of the murder. Where was Oswald when the shots were fired? Well, these men have just witnessed the assassination of the president. They are co-workers of Oswald, photographed by Tom, the Dallas Morning News photographer, in the 5th floor windows within a minute after the shots were heard.
Walter, here in Dallas, Eddie Barker has re-interviewed those men who watched the tragedy from the window just below me. Later on, we'll be hearing their own story of the assassination itself. But for now, we wanted to know just what Oswald was doing and where he was doing it through the morning of November 22nd, 1963. We spoke first to this man, Harold Norman.
That particular morning, 3 or 4 of us were standing by the window, and Oswald came over and he said, what's everybody looking at and what's everybody excited about? And so we told him we were waiting on the president. So he just snurged up and walked away.
Our next witness from the 5th floor window, James Jarman, Jr.
I was talking to him around about 10 o'clock. On the outside of the building, some people had gathered. And he asked me what was they gathering around out there for. And I told him that the president was supposed to come by that morning. And he asked me what time, and I didn't know what time it would be, but some of the people had started gathering around. And he asked me which way would the president be coming. And I told him. And so he said, oh, yeah? And I said, yeah. And then he turned around and walked off.
The last man known to have seen Lee Harvey Oswald before the assassination was another co-worker, Charles Gibbons. And Mr. Gibbons saw Oswald here on the 6th floor.
Well, he was standing about the middle way of the building on the 6th floor.
But what was he doing there?
Well, he was just standing there looking with his orders in his hand.
And what did you say to him?
I just said, fella, it's lunchtime. You going downstairs? And he said, no. I said, close the gates on the elevator when you get down. Well, I was, kind of excited, wanted to see the parade, so when I got downstairs, I really forgot it. I just rushed on off and went on out to lunch.
This would be about what time?
Well, about 1 or 2 minutes after 12.
So the testimony from those who saw Oswald inside the book depository is consistent. The testimony from eyewitnesses in the plaza below is not. The Warren Commission had to choose between seriously conflicting accounts, and many of the critics think it chose